Hey y'all, your holistic coach here, helping you to be whole. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay. So, excuse me. Children, older children, and I mean older like 20 and up children. Um, Sometimes you just gotta hands off them. What does that mean? That means is they are at an age where you can't control their day to day. You can't control who they hang out with, where they go, how they work, how they spend their money, where they spend their time, um, things like that. Now, you can give them advice and you can guide and lead. But as far as punishing them and putting them in the corner, them days are over. As far as telling them what to do, how to do, because if you don't, you gonna get out of my house. Da 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 da. They can, they can leave now. Um, they're at the point where you can't use those same, 0 to 17 tactics on them anymore. You just can't. So, but they're also at a stage where they are immature in that 18, well, mine is only 22, so I'm saying 18 to maybe 25 range or 24 range. They're still in an immature, that growing pain stage, that now I gotta be an adult. What am I gonna do with my life? And I wanna party, have fun, and girlfriends and whatever. But yet, mom and life is telling me I gotta be responsible and do right and pay bills and whatever, whatever. But I don't want to, and da da da. Okay. And you, as a parent, can get very frustrated with how your child is growing and going. Get frustrated, get upset, you want to control. You see them sliding down the hill and you're trying to stop it. And sometimes you just have to hands off your child. You just have to throw your hands up. And not to say you don't love them, not to say you are not going to prepare them for the world. Of course you are, and you should. Prepare them for the world. Give them the armor they need to go out there and be the best that they can be. Okay. But if they keep bucking the system, if they keep, Mom, you don't know anything, whether they say it verbally or in action. Mom, you don't know anything. I'm going to do what I want to do. You trying to stifle me. You this, you that, whatever. Mom, dad, doesn't matter. Sometimes you just have to back up and hands off them and let them hit that wall. Sometimes you just do it. That don't mean you don't love them. But you can't damage your relationship, because what happens is if you keep hovering them and those helicopter moms and all these different things, they're going to buck the system even harder. And they're going to go buck wild all the way to the left. And it's going to just rock them to the point where they lose so much time, effort, and make horrible decisions that they either can't come back from, or it takes them years to come back from. And you can't do that. And you gotta let them live. You gotta let them make their mistakes. You gotta let them live their life. You gotta let them figure it out on their own to some extent. And the more you push and push and push, the further they go away. And physically, mentally, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. And it's going to be very hard to pull them back in. When you throw your hands up, you give them or have given them the tools that they need to survive in that problem and or whatever the long-term issue is. Okay. And hopefully you have given them age-appropriate information, but also when they're in that 22 stage, 20, 22, 18, whatever it is, you're giving them a few years ahead. Because when they're 10 years old, you give them age appropriate, and that is all. So you give them 10-year-old information, maybe 11-year-old information, maybe 9-year-old information, and that's what they can handle. But when they're 20, in that 20 range, then you give them for their age group, and then you make them go a little bit further ahead, because life is different now. You're an adult now. You're paying bills. You can go to war. You can drink. You can drive. You can go to jail forever. All these different things now. So you need to look into the future when you're parenting as well. Okay. So when you throw your hands up, you have to, after you've given them the tools that they need, You just have to sit back and watch and let them be. You have to. Now, when they come to you, in which you have to foster um, good communication with your child when they're young. So they can come to you when they're sinking their ship, and they will. They can come to you and you guide them a little bit more, and you give them the tools that they need again, or reiterate what you said 40 million thousand times. But even then, you say, well, you're grown, do what you want to do. Because children going to do what they want to do anyway. We did it when we was young. All the generations before us did it when they were young, whatever have you. They're going to do what they want to do. You keep pushing, they're going to go all the way to the left, and then, they may not come back. But you still need to be there for them. So it's a tricky road or tricky ground that the parent is in now. Because you want to say, wake up, wake up. You falling off the cliff, wake up, wake up. But if you do too much, then it's, oh, Mom, you told me it's your fault. It didn't work out. I'm blaming you. You held me back. You pushed me too far. You pushed me off the cliff. It's not right. You. They're going to blame you. They're going to blame you anyway because it's life. But they're really going to blame you if you push too hard. They are. Whether they turn out to be a success, whether they turn out to be a failure, no matter what happens, they're going to blame you if you push too hard. So, pull back some. Pull back a whole lot, depending on who the kid is, how they learn, how they deal with problem situations, whatever have you. You gotta pull back some. You gotta let grown people be grown people. Now, you see them falling off the cliff, you give them advice and say, hey, I see you falling off the cliff, no, don't want to do that, do these things, and, in my experience, but if they still want to fall off the cliff, you don't love them any less, you gotta let them fall off the cliff. And unfortunately, that's what you have to do at this stage. So you have to pull back. It's not fun as a parent. It's not, it doesn't make you feel good. Sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it's like, you as a parent see the future of that child and all these mistakes that's going to manifest itself, later on. Okay. But you gotta fall back. You have to fall back because children have to learn. And some children are more hard-headed than others, and they have to learn on their own. They just do. And you have to just be there, the soft place for them to land. You have to be there to, pick them up. Not to aid in the bed, but to pick them up. I love you regardless, son, but I have to let you go. If you're doing something toxic or whatever have you, and you're living in my house, I love you. You want to come talk to me? I got you. You want to go fishing, boating, whatever your thing is? I got you, but you cannot live in my house because you're toxic or whatever the case may be. So you got to hands off your kids sometimes. You just do. And that don't mean you don't love them. I keep saying that because somebody be like, you don't love my kid. No, that don't mean that. But you got to just hands off them sometimes and let them make their mistakes and let them, and if you taught them good foundation when they're young, they will right themselves. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be, a stand-up citizen and all these different things, because you can do everything right for your kid. And I mean, 2-parent households and money and cars and they want for nothing, whatever, and they still come out crazy. You can have a kid in a bad neighborhood and, 1-parent household and all kind of mess and foolishness, and they come out great. So you just never know. But you just got to, fall back a little bit and be there to guide them, be there, and they will hopefully right themselves. They will. They'll right themselves because they'll always have that foundation. They will always have that foundation that you instilled in them. Who you are is who you are. And you won't shake that, you still have good in you. Even serial killers, they still have good in them if that's who they are, And, it's hard to believe, but they do. So, but anyway, so it's a little bit rambly, but anyway, because I'm going through that right now, letting go. So, this is your holistic coach here. I help you to be whole. Check out my other videos, like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.